loves traveling. You get to see new places, meet new people, try new food, not be able to get to the gym, not have access to the food you have at home, maybe not get the best night's sleep. Sounds wonderful. This is the number one thing that my clients struggle with, is being out of their normal environment, and nothing embodies that quite like full-blown travel does. You guys might remember at the end of 2024, when I saw my calendar for 2025, I had a full-blown panic attack. I realized that I was gonna be away from home more than 25% of the year. And you guys probably don't know this about me, but I am someone who's pretty easily thrown off of my routine. Every time I travel, I feel thrown off of my routine, and it takes me a couple of days to get back onto my routine when I get home. When you're gone for 25% of the year, and it takes you a couple days to get back on track every time you get home, it's gonna be a rough year. But I knew that canceling these trips was not an option, so I had to figure it out. So there's quite a few systems that I put in place at the end of 2024 to make sure that I was thrown off of my routine as little as possible, and so that I was able to get back on track as quickly as possible when I got back home. And that's what this video is gonna be about. 𝐶𝐿 and I are headed to Boulder, Colorado to work at the Vegan Strong booth for the Boulder. And it's just a 3-day trip. This is a really short one. Some of the trips we've been on this year already have been like up to 12 days. So this one is a little bit easier. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to film the things that I wanna show you. And Boulder's a beautiful place, so hopefully I'll get to show you some of that. A huge chunk of this success of this protocol, that sounds so lame. Let's try that again. I have found that a big chunk to being successful while I travel actually starts before we even leave, booking the flight. You've got to know yourself. What is the best time of day for you to fly? Some of our Vegan Strong teammates really like the first flight of the day, which is usually 6 in the morning. I do not like the first flight of the day at 6 in the morning because I am not a morning person, and having to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get on a 6 a.m. flight is a really bad start to the day for me. So I try to look for flights that are around like 10 or 11 so that I can wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning, which is a much more human time. And also consider where you're traveling to and the time zone and what time you're gonna be there, and if that makes sense also. Because although I'm not a morning person, I also wouldn't like to land somewhere at midnight and have to get our car and get to the hotel. We've done it before because we found cheaper flights. We've also done the early morning flights because we found cheaper flights there, and it backfires every time. So make sure that you find a flight time that works for you, even if it costs a little bit more. I would say that it's worth it if you travel a lot. So one of the things that's really important for me to do when I travel, I've learned the hard way, is to get ahead on my training before I even leave. Because no matter how good my intentions are when we travel to get to a gym and get all my workouts done, sometimes there's no gym that's nearby or open when I need it to be open or affordable enough for us to just get day passes for the whole time we're there. So I'm just gonna get ahead on my workouts before I leave and bring my bands with me. So because I have like 20 trips planned this year, I had a method where I basically just left my bag packed at all times, which so far has worked out really, really great. It means I have to have duplicates of a handful of things. It has saved me so much time. But for the sake of this video and the fact that we're moving into warmer months, the stuff in that has to change, so I'm going to just pack my bag from scratch right now. Talk about how awesome this shirt is. Oh, so these are compression socks. They are very tight. They go up to my knee, and I always thought that it was kind of a stupid thing that I had heard people say, but the more I have flown, especially the more I have flown longer distances, the more I realized that wearing these actually really does help my legs feel less tired when I get somewhere. So I always bring one pair of these because I wear them for the flight. But since I'm wearing it for the flight, I don't need to pack it. I'm gonna toss it on this chair because I always leave my flying outfit out. overnight. How did I miss that? It's a giant chair. What an athlete she is. But even though we're coming into summer months, this is a Memorial Day trip, it's gonna be kind of a cold and rainy weekend, and our event is outdoors. I gotta make sure I have enough warm stuff here. And it also has to be vegan strong themed, because that's the trip. 1 leggings, 2 leggings, undershirt, because I'm like a little boy. I feel like I am gonna want long sleeve shirts. Oh, this is gonna be a trip of layers. Ooh, my joggers, love those, gonna bring those. 3-day trip, am I really gonna need to bring that much crap? Yes, probably. Okay. 2 vegan strong shirts, vegan strong hoodie. So I'm also gonna bring this is what I'm gonna wear, I think, to the airport. Okay, last bits of clothing. Last minute decision here, looking at the weather, knowing that I am always cold and that we will be outside pretty much the entire time. I am bringing my long underwear. Just wear it under my clothes. It's like skin tight. It keeps me very warm. Bottoms, I don't love the waistband on the bottoms, but we do what we gotta do. I love how I'm like, well, we're moving into the warmer months, and then everything in here is to prevent me from freezing my butt off. Now, this is usually much more organized than this. This is usually all in this guy right here. So I have pre-measured out all of my supplements and things like that, and I have 2 weeks worth in here at all time. And I also have some extra like Benadryl and ibuprofen just in case. Band-aids. So I always bring Band-aids because I have been on more trips than I can count where I get a blister on my feet. Sleep mask, I almost never use this, but I would rather have it and not need it than the other way around. Here's all of my toiletries, shampoo, conditioner, a toner, a leave-in conditioner, face wash, lotion, some makeup remover, and some retinol. And then this little guy has my makeup in it. I don't wear a ton of makeup, but I never know what kind of event I'm going to be asked to attend while I'm there. This usually stays in my backpack with me. I also have sunscreen that I fill this up. It feels kind of light though. And I'm going to Colorado where we're much closer to the sun, so I gotta fill this sucker back up. And she's full. So I like to keep the sunscreen with my makeup because it's tinted sunscreen, which means it's basically my foundation, because I don't wear foundation anymore. Don't go back and watch videos of me from 2018. Full cake face, full cake face. Don't love it now. So there we go. That's all the toiletries, meds, supplements, things like that in here. Okay, now we're getting into the fun stuff. These are sheets of laundry detergent. And this is a drain stopper because I always do my laundry in the hotel room, and the last trip we were on was 10 days long. So I was using this every single day. So that goes in here, this lives in here at all times. And the other thing, this is a sponge, like a kitchen sponge that I cut in half so that I can wash any dishes that I need in the sink there. I think that's it in terms of packing this bag right now. So it's 1 carry-on and it's about 65% full. Let's talk about the food stuff that I'm gonna bring. Bear in mind, this is a 3-day trip, and depending on the trip, I might bring more food or less food, but I wanted to show you some of the things that I would bring to help me stay on track. Don't worry, I'll be sharing my other food tips while we're actually there. So a few things that I will definitely bring. One is this collapsible Tupperware bowl. So it pops out, it's a pretty big size, so I could fit salad in here, I could fit a sandwich in here, I could have my breakfast in here, and then it packs down to basically nothing. And I also have my little baby fork and spoon that I'm gonna put right in there. I have a travel straw, and that is gonna be my cookware, I suppose, if you will. And I also have my water bottle, which I always bring with me. It just goes through security empty, and then I fill it up beyond that. And I only have one upstairs. I have a ton more downstairs, but I bring a big old handful of these Ultima electrolyte hydrator sticks. 1, they help me drink more water. 2, this is my favorite electrolyte drink. It's got no artificial colors or flavors, but it also is lower in sodium than all of the other ones that I've seen. And I am a big sodium proponent. You guys know that. But I get plenty of it from my food and I don't need any extra in my water. So this has calcium, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, vitamin C, but almost no sodium. So I love these and they come in some great flavors. The pina colada one is my favorite right now. So I'm very particular about what little caffeine that I have. This is my chai tea. I have it every morning. And when I'm traveling, like, yeah, I could go to a coffee shop or a cafe, and sometimes I do, but I find that the caffeine content is so different than what I have at home that I really don't know how to gauge it, and I always end up having like too much or too little. But I have a teaspoon of this every morning, and I'm only gonna be gone for 3 mornings, so I only need a little bit. I take my little steeper ball, put it in here, and that's all set. Some fun ones, I have these Kind Max protein bars. So these are a little different. They're higher in fat than most of the other protein bars that I have, but sometimes I need that. Like when I'm home, I'm often looking for stuff that's kind of lower in various macros, but when I'm traveling, a lot of times I can go hours and hours without eating at all. So sometimes I just need something dense to eat. This fits that bill. This has 4 in there. I'm gonna take it out of the box so it takes up less space. And also, keep in mind, this is not just for me. 𝐬𝐭 will 100% also be eating this stuff. Fruits and veg are the hardest thing to find on the road. Carbs, easy. Fats, easy. Protein, harder. Fruits and veg, hardest. I am gonna bring some freeze-dried strawberries with me. Again, I'm gonna take this out. I was also looking for kale chips, like the Rhythm kale chips. I freaking love those, but I couldn't find them anywhere. I haven't been able to find them anywhere. Did they go out of business, guys? Please don't break my heart. Each bag here is 50 calories, rehydrated. This probably amounts to about 125 or so grams of strawberries, so not bad. There's about a pound of strawberries total in these 4 little bags. A couple fun ones. These are brand new. 𝐬𝐭 found these actually. Power Crunch protein crisps. I don't know if they make flavors that aren't vegan, but this one definitely is. They're shaped like Pringles. They come in a little Pringles can. They don't taste exactly like Pringles. They definitely don't taste like they're made out of potato. And the first ingredient is pea protein, which would make me think I would hate them, but they are really very good. Half of a can of this is 10 grams of protein. I'm gonna bring these. 𝐬𝐭 was gonna be like,
no, I don't want any.
And then as soon as I start eating them, he's gonna be like,
can I have some?
So I'll bring them both. These are the Lenny and Larry's protein pretzels, Fitzels. The whole bag, if you ate this whole bag, it's 3 servings. Don't eat the whole bag at once. But it's 14 fat, 39 carb, 20 protein, and they are very, very good. Especially when you're on the plane and the snacks they're handing out are like kind of meh, or they're not even vegan. These are good things to have. A lot of what we do when we travel is a lot of manual labor. So again, dense foods that you can eat quickly, very helpful. A couple of little nut butters. These are maple almond butter, a few of those. And the only actual meal that I bring with me is my breakfast. So it's gonna be, I'm a full convert now, guys. I'm a full convert. I'm not even having the 𝐾𝐨 anymore. It's just this one now. I'm going to bag up a serving of the maple almond Wheaties, a serving of my edamame puffs, about 20 grams of raisins in there. And when I get there, we'll buy soy milk. When all is said and done, this breakfast is gonna like kickstart the day with 50 grams of protein. So even if I do go 8 hours without being able to eat something, which is not ideal, like I got a really good head start. So I'm gonna bag those up now. The only thing I forgot to show you guys was this bag of daring chicken. Tomorrow morning before we leave, I'm gonna throw this in the air fryer for about 15 minutes or so, and then put it in a Ziploc, take it with us. We'll be in the air for lunch. I can throw this on almost anything that I can find and make it a real lunch, or pair it with some of the things I have here. But I don't wanna cook it now because then it'll not be as fresh tomorrow. You know how any kind of chip is like half air? As long as you know you're gonna put it somewhere where you're not gonna squish it, you can kind of pop it, release a little bit of the air, and then just tape it back up. It's gonna go from taking up this much space to taking up this much space. So that's what it condensed down to, all of it. One of the things that I like to do before I head out on a trip is take a few minutes to make the house nice and tidy, water the plants, put away the dishes, throw out any food that's gonna go bad, fill the bird feeder, little things that help me slip back into my routine as soon as I get home without feeling overwhelmed by chaos as soon as I walk in the door. Here is the flight outfit. Comfort is king anytime I travel, and everything that I have fit very easily in this here, so I don't have to check a bag. When you're at the airport, to get all of your steps in is a really smart thing to do, because sometimes you're here for hours and it just makes sense to get as much movement in as you can before you sit for 4 hours. I just wanted to point out that 𝐾𝐿 did in fact eat my chips, even though he said he didn't want any. When you are traveling, you are almost inevitably going to end up at some kind of restaurant. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're going to meet up with some friends, pick up some stuff for the booth tomorrow, and have dinner. So I am currently looking up the menu online, which I think is a really helpful thing to do so that you can have a good idea of what you're going to get that's going to keep you on track before you get there. And I'm psyched about this place because they have homemade seitan with a bunch of different flavors. They have different kinds of salads, different sides of vegetables. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get yet, but seitan is definitely going to be on the menu. So we do this 2 different ways. Sometimes we'll just Instacart the food that we want to the hotel, but since we had a rental car this time, we decided to go to the grocery store and pick up the food that we thought we were going to need for the next few days of the expo. So we decided to make tofurkey sandwiches because that's very easy to make and bring to the expos. We also got some apples, I got some sugar snap peas and some carrots, some soy milk for the cereal, and Alice also got some cereal for herself there too. Now we're in the hotel room, and as we expected, and I'm very happy, we have our refrigerator, we have a microwave. Not every hotel has this, but we do like to call ahead and make sure that the place we're booking has it. Now, even though I got ahead on my workouts here, I did take my bands with me, and when I'm able to, I squeeze in a quick full body workout, and I usually do 2 to 3 sets of each body part. It doesn't have to be the best workout of your life to be enough to tell your muscles, hey there, muscles, like, yep, we still need you, don't go anywhere. And here is that breakfast in action before we head out to the expo. Hey guys, I just have to redact these that I showed you at the beginning of the video. They are trash. Do not get them. 2 out of 10. If you buy them, I will not take responsibility for them. Not good. All right, guys, so we are at the Boulder right now, currently setting up. I'll give you a shot of the booth when it's all set up. Our backdrop just fell down. Hold. All right, crisis averted. So I wanted to show you that we bring these. Crisis not averted. We bring these tofurkey sandwiches, and that's what we will have once things start taking off and we get really busy. It is about 2 o'clock. We have been working at the Boulder since it opened at 10, but we got here at 7. So I haven't eaten anything since 6, which is, what is that, 8 hours, right? See, I told you I can easily go 8 hours without eating anything at these events. But I'm sitting down, I'm taking a break, and I'm gonna eat this sandwich that I made here. It's just tofurkey, chow cheese, mustard, Dave's Killer Bread. That's all it is, but you know, getting that in is gonna be the thing that carries me through the end of the day, and then there will be like a much bigger meal later. So, you know, it's not perfect when we're doing these events. It can't be by definition, but these are the things that we do to try to keep ourselves on track when we are working these very busy events. We got rained out a little bit early. The weather changed pretty abruptly. So now I'm walking back to the hotel to get our car so that we can put all the electronics in it and not have to walk it in the rain. So getting our steps in. We're getting our steps in, been on our feet all day, and it's been a really good day. Even with the rain, it's still been a nice day. Post-show, we found an Indian buffet nearby, and although it didn't have quite as much vegan food as Happy Cow suggested it might, I was still able to make a nice filling plate that had fruits and vegetables. So because I was still on East Coast time, I woke up super early at like 5 a.m., which is very early for me. And because I had several hours before I had to be at the booth and I didn't just want to sit in the hotel room all morning, I decided to go out and get a nice walk and have a decaf latte at a cafe before I headed over to the booth. It had rained pretty heavily the night before, and even though we pulled everything under the tent and lowered the tent quite a bit, everything still got pretty soggy overnight, so it took us a while to set this back up. It usually doesn't take us this long on day 2, and we had to pull everything in really tight under the tent to make sure nothing got ruined. So it was a challenging expo, I would say, but we got it all set up. We ended up having a good day 2, stayed mostly dry, and the booth looked great when it was set up, and here's what it looks like walking down the street from the other side. By the end of day 2, we were absolutely wiped. We went into Denver to City City, and I got a Caesar salad with buffalo seitan on top of it, but I was so hungry and exhausted that I forgot to film it for you guys. So here is my sad face and my empty table. One thing I didn't mention that I do on all of my trips is I sleep with white noise. It's just a white noise app on my phone that I leave my phone charged, plug it in, get to bed at a really good time, and turn that on. And it kind of adds an element to every place we stay being the same, which makes it a lot easier to fall asleep no matter where we are. So now the expo is over and we're flying home today, but we decided to meet up with some great friends for lunch. And I got this black bean chili for lunch because I wasn't very hungry at this point. It came with a bunch of chips, but I passed on those because I knew it wouldn't make me feel great. And then we had time for one more meal before we headed out. And again, I got a Caesar salad and this loaded potato soup at Watercourse Foods in Denver. And at first I was like, oh, this is kind of a lot of food before we head out. But I was very grateful that we had this because all of our flights ended up being super duper delayed, like delayed by an hour, then another hour, then another hour, until 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 and I ended up not flying out till about 10 p.m. Colorado time, and Alice's poor flight got canceled overnight. I didn't plan for this part of the video. It is 5 in the morning. We just got home because our flight was so long delayed that it ended up basically being a red eye, and then we had to drive the hour to get home. So this video was all about how to not get thrown off of your routine. And after sleeping about 30 minutes on the overnight flight, now it's 5 in the morning and I have to decide what to do. So if I try to give myself a full night's sleep right now, I'm going to sleep till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Is that right? 1 o'clock. I'll sleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't want to do that because then I'll be up all night the following night. So I think I'm going to try to get like maybe 5 or so hours of sleep right now, wake up at 10 and pray to God that I fall asleep tonight as well. Yeah, when we plan these YouTube videos out, I like to kind of have an idea of what I'm going to show you, how it's going to go, but that is the very nature of trips, is sometimes, often, I would say, it doesn't go the way you planned for it to go. I was not planning on eating a bowl of cereal at 4:45 in the morning before passing out for 5 hours and getting up and doing 2 days worth of work in one. I did get to see this guy though. I missed him so much. Oh boy, it is a scorcher today and I'm doing everything in my power to not turn on the air conditioner. So I'm not just greasy, I'm sweaty. Anyway, that was a rough day after only 5 hours of sleep, and it did still take me a few days to re-regulate my clock to get back on schedule here, but I could have been knocked off so much worse. So that's the point of this video, is I just wanted to show you some of the tactics that I use to prevent myself from completely derailing every month when I have one of these trips. Do you guys like these kinds of videos? Because I travel a lot. So if you have questions or things you want to know about traveling, tips or tricks, just let me know. I'm happy to make more of these. And if you're looking for any kind of one-on-one coaching, that's what we do at VeganProteins. That's what we've been doing since 2008. I will leave a link for one-on-one coaching for the coaching assessment in the description down below, along with some other freebies like meal plans and a 1-month free trial to our Muscles by Brussels membership. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.